In our first chapter, we are talking about moments of truth. Now, a moment of truth is any type of interaction you might have with a restaurant. It could be anything from pulling into a restaurant and there's valet parking, to maybe when you walk to the restroom, maybe you bump into one of the cooks. Anything in that situation, from your server coming up to you and greeting you, or somebody at the hostess stand not recognizing you when you walk in the front door. Moments of truth can be good, moments of truth can be bad. There's one restaurant I always think about when I talk about moment of truth in the classroom, and it's 11. Now, 11 is a restaurant in the Strip District, and it's owned by the Big Burrito Group. Big Burrito Group also owns restaurants such as Mad Mex, Kaya, Casbah. They're all across the Pittsburgh area. They have extremely high standards, especially at 11. 11 is a little bit on the pricier side, so we decided to go on our first wedding anniversary, 7 years ago. So when we got to 11, they had valet parking, which was very nice, and the guys working valet were absolutely wonderful. Extremely friendly, opened my car door for me, helped me out of the car. When we went into 11, we checked in at the hostess station. Once again, there were 3 hostesses standing there, and sometimes you walk into a restaurant and they're having a conversation amongst themselves. These ladies were extremely attentive to us when we walked in, and even when we told them our last name, said, "Thank you a lot, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. DiNicola." That's when we went to the lounge. At the lounge at 11, they have cocktail servers, and you can also go to the bar. Once again, another extremely good experience. Everything from the way the cocktail was made, asked us our preference of how we liked our cocktails being made, to ending it and not making us pay at the bar, but transferring our check to our table in the restaurant. But make sure when they do that for you, that as a guest, you always still tip that bartender, because sometimes they don't get their tips from the servers. When we ended up going into the restaurant, a nice touch that they have is the chef will send out an amuse-bouche. Now, an amuse-bouche is a little appetizer that's just a single bite appetizer. This is something that 11 does for everybody, but with this being our first time there, we thought it was special because they knew it was our anniversary. But regardless, it's still a nice touch and made us feel special as consumers. Went through our dinner, had a very lovely dinner. The server who we had was very personable, but he wasn't overdoing it at our table. At the end of our meal, he had acknowledged the fact that it was our wedding anniversary and had desserts sent out to our table, and they were complimentary desserts. Once again, something they do for everybody, but that evening it made us feel a little bit more special. So with all these little instances that happen throughout our meal, makes us want to go back to 11. But even better, every time I teach this food and beverage class, I talk about my experience at 11. So just think about how many people I've told about that restaurant in a positive light. Most of the time you only hear about negative experiences. So this was a positive experience that made each and every moment of truth special to us and made us want to go back. As we work in this chapter, we're going to learn about some negative moments of truth. And I'd also like you to think about some moments you had, interaction with servers or managers, or if something did go wrong, how did they fix it? Because the most important thing to do if somebody has a bad experience is to fix that experience and make them happy before they walk out the door. If that's not accomplished, they're never coming back. So think about your moment of truth and how it made you feel special.